Hey, Taebyn, you remember that AD episode from a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, with even with all that drinking, I felt freaking great the next day. No hangover, nothing. And you know why?
I mean, I have no idea what those things are, but I do want to know why.
Well, because I took Broad electrolyte vitamins. They're like super Gatorade in a vitamin. Anyway, I felt so great the next day that I emailed them and I said to them, hey man, great product. And you know what? The CEO emails me back to say, thanks.
Oh, nice.
Love to hear from fans. What are you guys up to? And bam, just like that, Broad electrolyte vitamins becomes a supporter of this show. I
wow.
I know.
That's pretty great. Thank you, Broad.
Thank you, Broad. I mean, who likes being hungover or dehydrated? So guess what? We've got a special deal for all our listeners. Go to Broad Electrolyte Vitamins website at broad.co. That's BRODE.co. There's no M. And use the code BFFT at checkout to get 25% off your order with no limit to your order size. The more you order, the more you save. And on top of that, Broad will donate 25% of the proceeds from every order using the code BFFT back to the show to help support its production. So it's a win-win-win for everyone.
That's awesome.
So that's Broad, BRODE.co.
It really is. I mean, Broad gets stuff. We get things. You Furs get things. It's kind of great.
And remember, that's BRODE.co. And code BFFT at checkout. Hangovers are the worst, and this stuff is the best. So go to broad.co and use code BFFT. Taebyn, it's been really nice outside. It was so nice out today. I went out and I worked in the garden a little bit, but a friend of mine used to say, it feels so good out, I think I'll leave it out. I don't know whether that was like his plants or his drinks, but I don't know what that meant.
Maybe he had just uprooted a really nice radish and he put it on his windowsill to breathe or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And that reminds me of something. I don't know how it reminds me of this, but it does. I was watching an episode of Star Trek the other day. For whatever reason, Data was... He was, trying his hand at cooking. Okay, fine. So, and he makes dinner and everything. And he says, Geordi, the beef for dinner tonight that is available is in portions of 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11 ounces. Which would you like? And Geordi's like, well, what's with all the weird sizes? And Data says, it is prime rib. And that's how that went.
Yes, that is how that went. So was that before or after he got his joke implant in his head, I wonder?
I think he was transitioning. So he's still working on it. But
he's still working on it. Yeah. So I think, you know what? I think we should, think this ship has set sail, so we better get on it. What do you say?
Oh, I'm jumping right on right now.
This is Barely Furcasting, featuring Taebyn, an Injured Nerves audio production. All right, well, hello, greetings, and salutations, and Moobarkfluff. Yes, I said Moobarkfluff. To all our listeners in the Potiverse, I am Barely Normal, one co-host who is not bored, but is a lord. More on that later. And with me, as always, or at least 90% of the time, is Taebyn the Magnificent. Taebyn the Magnificent. How are you, Taebyn?
Oh, well, I'm fine, but I want to know, am I Taebyn 90% of the time? Am I Magnificent 90% of the time? Or am I your co-host 90% of the time?
Well, I think it's just that you're my co-host 90% of the time, because sometimes I'm not here, sometimes you're not here. So 90% of the time, we're together as co-hosts, I would say.
Okay, I'll go. And so 10% of the time, I'm Taebyn then. I'm either co-host or Taebyn. You can't be both.
You can be both. No. So anyway, you have to choose whether you're Magnificent or Taebyn. So
it's a tough choice. But speaking of which, it's been a really great week. Been running around doing the things. The weather, as you mentioned, the weather is getting nicer out. It's just really nice. In fact, today, just this morning, I was talking to my honey about how nice it's getting. And I was like, it's like getting kind of warmish out. I don't think I even need my big, huge jacket when I go out later today. And I'm a pup, so I sometimes need a jacket only if it's really, really cold, but it happens sometimes, but I didn't think I needed one this time. And so my honey said, no, you do not actually need your parka today. And I said, well, not unless I get tired of driving.
So, yes.
But that's how I'm doing.
Car.
Yeah,
that's how you're doing. Okay.
How are you, Mr. Lord? Which we'll get to later. Barely.
Mr. Lord? No, it's just Lord or Mr. But I'm pretty good. It's been a good week. Last Sunday on the April 3rd, Rain, a TikTok, and I, along with our respective hubbies, all went to Portland to see a live recording of the podcast Gayish. And we're going to work with them to be on their show, and they're going to be on our show. So it's going to be a nice
How was the show and everything when you went up there?
It was really good. Now, that show is very much an NSFW show. So when we're on there, be aware that you may get some embarrassing questions, Taebyn. So be aware of that, okay?
I have a feeling I don't even know what the words are going to mean, so I guess I don't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, no, it was a great show. There are a couple of nice guys, a couple of nice gays. Gauge out the window, said Mr. Sean Connery. Anyway, so listen for details for when we're going to be on the show and they're going to be on our show. We're working out all the deets to get there. And for the last 3 weeks, I've been caring for little flower and vegetable seeds starts.
Oh, that's so cute.
And they were old enough to be transplanted today. So I put them in the garden and watered them. And I heard them all screaming because, you uproot them and stick them in the ground and like.
No, did you name them?
Things. Yes, I named them Plant. They're all named Plant. So that way it's easier to remember who's who in the zoo.
Remember who's who's. Plant. Yeah, you're the one I meant, sure.
Yeah, you're the one. You're the one. So, all right. So, Lord, let me tell you about being a Lord. So, as many of our listeners, or most of our listeners know, it was my birthday recently. And my hubby always winds up getting me some nice, unique, cute things for my birthday. And one of the things he got me this year was a plot of land in Scotland. And
he bought you some land in Scotland?
He bought me some land in Scotland.
This isn't a joke. Yes. This is a real thing.
Nope. This is a real thing.
Wow.
You can buy a 5 foot by 5 foot square plot of land.
That's adorable.
In a conservatory in Scotland, and they will plant a tree for you.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And because you own land in Scotland, you are entitled to be a lord. And so I have this certificate that makes me a lord, and it's all legal and everything. And I can actually put that on my legal documents. I even put it on my signature line on my work email. It says Lord awesome. Michael. And then all other kind of stuff. So nobody's asked about it yet, which is kind of funny because I'm kind of waiting for someone to tell me I can't do that.
Oh, that's just him being like him again. I'm really glad to know that they actually plant a tree. I was just envisioning, oh, look, I have a 5 by 5 square plot of dirt. And I mean, great. But no, they did something with it. That's great. Yeah.
No, I have the actual coordinates. The GPS coordinates, so I could actually Google it and look at my little plot of land.
See your little tree.
Or
cute.
I can go to it and stand on it. And maybe I'll go to Scotland and stand on my land and have somebody kneeling before me worshiping the Lord as my serf. That's what's going to happen.
Would that cause a war though? Because they'd be doing so in another land. If it's only 5 by 5, they would be in another land kneeling to a different Lord.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know. We I could bump into another Lord that's right next to me.
You could.
I could.
But wow.
Let's get to our weekly challenge. Speaking of trees, my weekly challenge. Now, I've noticed over the last several weeks, Taebyn, every time you don't know something, you issue a challenge to people and to furs. Whereas I only give one challenge every week.
Well, true. I don't know
there's
lots
another
of
challenge
things,
to our listeners. Yeah, okay, right. So please tell us your favorite tree. The larch. The larch. Now, if anybody gets that reference, please write in and tell me what that is from. So tell us why it's your favorite tree. Now, it can be, you can talk about your, not breed, but type of tree.
Species.
Or you could species. There you go. Or it could be your favorite tree because you drive past it every day and it's really cute and pretty and you like it. Or your favorite kind of tree, like, say, I like cherry trees because of the blossoms and all that kind of stuff. So tell us about your favorite tree. That's my challenge to the furs.
It could even be your favorite tree because your birthday soon and then you'll be 4.
True. Then it's be your favorite 4. Don't fall on the 4. Don't fall on the 4.
Just don't fall on the 4. You only get not 5 cents. No, that's going nowhere. Never mind.
That's a long journey for a really bad thing.
It's not even going to go well.
Hoosers, let's get to the past today.
The past today. Bop, bop.
All right. So let's talk about Pooper and Dunk again.
Oh, yeah. Again. Okay.
Yes. So tell us about Pooper and Dunk now, Taebyn.
Well, so a few weeks ago, I used that word, and I was like, it's a real word. Barely's like, no, it's not. Like, yes, it is. It's just like, it's not a very well-known word, but it's a real word. And so the challenge was, well, this is because I knew something this time, but my challenge for all the furs were, okay, go find out what this word means. Okay. Mm-hmm. And last week, barely actually. Oh, no. Then the next week, you're like, okay, well, what does it mean? I couldn't find out. And I was like, no one actually could. Okay. I'm going to give you one more week. So
right.
I gave first one more week. And so last week, barely found the definition.
Yep.
All you first will have to go back and listen to what that actual definition is. It has to do with an egg-shaped poop, basically.
Yes, it does.
So go back and listen to that. And that is the story behind Pooper and Dunk, at least as far as our show goes.
Right. And lately, it's all of a sudden stirred up some things in the chat, and they've been asking for the official spelling of the word, so they can look it up. So
this went a lot further than I thought it would, but okay,
it went way, way further. It went so far off the rails, it is an airplane. Now, last week I talked about let's a little fun with flags right now. Last week I talked about.
Oh, so should we officially say what the official spelling is then?
Oh, sure, it's poop, and then REN, and dunk, DUNK. So POOPRENDUNK. We should make a song out of that.
I could. Where at one point I pronounced it backwards somewhere. I say poop.
Dunkin' poop. Dunkin' poopy. Anyway, so last week I talked about flags, and we talked about Oregon and one other state having a 2-sided flag where you have a different item on one side than you have on the other side.
Pop.
And as I was doing some research, I found out that Oregon is the only state that has a 2-sided flag.
Oh my cow.
Right. So we are the state of Oregon here, where I live, is unique. We have the only flag in the union that has things on both sides. So
that means that if you need to find it, you got to unique up on it, because that's the only way to get it. It's
the only way to get it. Unique up on it. Yeah. Oh, righty.
I say Pooper and Dunk.
Pooper and Dunk to you. Now I have to ask you, Taebyn, did you watch the Family Guy episode finally?
I watched a third of it.
Okay.
I watched the first third because that's Game of Thrones part, and I haven't watched the other 2 shows, so I thought I'd watch and wait until I watch the other 2 shows so I can get full incumbents into the episode. But so I've done a third. I'm working my way there.
All right, cool. All right, well, at least you promised everyone you would watch it, and watch it you did. So was it? I don't know whether it was you or somebody sent me a message to talk about Smokey Bear.
Yes.
And it's
last
not.
Week. Yeah,
that's last week, and it's not Smokey the Bear. It's Smokey Bear. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay.
As just like you wouldn't say Taebyn the pup, you're Taebyn pup. So
because there's more than one pup.
There's more than one pup, right? So you are Taebyn pup. So the forests, if you say the bear, the Forest Service gets all salty about it, which is funny because they shouldn't get salty. They should get piney. No. Sure. So,
I am very assaulted that you peppered that in right now. Give me some time to process.
I see it, human. Anyway.
I thought you might.
Yes. Anyway, so the interesting article that I read about Smokey Bear there are various things that Smokey gets into with the fans, and some are not so safe for work. There is an entire internet page devoted to NSFW Smokey Bear stuff, and the Forest Service is not happy about it.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's been funny because Smokey's been around since the 1950s.
Yeah.
No, the 1930s. And
long time.
Right. And the reason that they're so salty about this website is because up until 2020, there was a law that was enacted in 1950 against doing anything to mar the name or image of Smokey Bear.
Oh.
You could literally go to prison for 5 years for dissing Smokey Bear.
Well.
But, yeah.
It's like the South Park Muhammad thing all over again.
It is. It's terrible. It's terrible. But that has been lifted, and so guess what? Lots of people are making all sorts of Smokey Bear smut.
Did you know that there might still be, I don't know, because, how often does Oregon or any state update their law books? But at one point in the recent past, say the last 20 years, for sure, if it's not still there, there was a Oregon law, which it was penalizable. Is that the word?
Penalizable.
Yeah.
Penalizable.
Where something like if young girl under the age of 8 drank tea after 7 p.m., you could be penalized for that. Like it was a law. Like you can't do that or something.
Yeah, they call them blue laws. There's a lot of them on the books.
Oh, and just because they're still there and they haven't gotten rid of them or something, and that's why they're blue. They're sad that it's still there, so they're blue.
No, because, and I've done this research a long time ago, because laws were always enacted with a blue folder, and they were called blue laws. They don't do that anymore. So now when they refer to old laws that are no longer relevant, you call them blue laws because it goes back to the olden days, which really wasn't so olden, because when in the early 70s, I lived in New Jersey, and on Sundays, you could buy groceries, but you couldn't buy clothing.
Oh.
You could buy cars, but you couldn't buy tires.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And you could buy lumber, but you couldn't buy nails and screws.
Well, I mean, I guess because like tires and nails and screws is like clothing for the respective things. And so it all fits into the same bucket. I don't know.
I don't know, but it was so weird. But because I could remember as a child going to the department stores and walking through to the grocery area, and the clothing area and the toy area and all that stuff was literally roped off and the lights were turned off.
So
you couldn't go in there and buy anything.
Can't do it.
It was, you just can't go in there. Can't do it. Nope. So.
Oh my.
All right. I have to ask you now about Roger's steak.
Oh, what did he do a good job with it?
I don't know, but you mentioned something about Roger's steak last week, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And you said, well, you better look it up. Now, I don't know whether it's something real or whether you were just messing with Bearly and making him do work for several hours trying to find something.
Now I'm going to have to do some work and find out go back to last week's episode and find out when I said that, and find out if what I was trying to do to you is true or not.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
well, the only Roger's steak I could find was, there's an entire chain of Roger's steakhouses in Arkansas.
Oh.
I had said something, and you had said something about, is that Roger's, like Roger's steak? I was like, I don't know what. Unless you're talking about,
have to go back and find out.
Unless you're talking about Roger the alien on American Dad, because I remember in one episode he barbecued a steak and it was just like terrible. But
I don't think so, but maybe it was. Okay, I'll have to go back. So a pass for today for next week. I will find out.
Okay.
You can officially really say, Taebyn, what are you talking about? And maybe I'll say, I actually have an idea. And thanks for asking.
Okay. All right. Now I have to ask you again. Did you determine what your difference between cute and really good is?
I've worked on it. I think this will be an ongoing thing to figure out.
Okay.
So for any further doesn't know what we're talking. So in the last week's episode, in the media section, I was talking about how I had seen the Addams Adam's apple. No, the Adam Project, whereas Barely had recently seen it and talked about the week before. Now, the week before, when he was talking about it, he had said that he thought it was cute. And then I watched it and it's like, it's really good. Where did you, cute? I don't even know. What? So it didn't really make any sense. And he asked me, well, what's the difference to you between cute and really good? And I had to think, I'll have to think about that. And so here we are, which brings us to Lord Barely's question. So ongoing thing, I tried thinking about it. I even talked to my honey about it. And it's hard to say for sure. So Adam Project, it's just really good. Hi, I got distracted.
Hi.
So
yes.
A movie can be cute and really good at the same time. For example, I've talked several times about the movie Make the Yuletide Gay. Or Yuletide Gay. It's an extremely good movie. It's got a really good plot. It's got a good message. It's good. It's a good gay movie, so it's good for gay people. It's just really funny. It's got attractive people. It's just a really, really good movie. But it's also cute. It's got this really cute gay boy relationship thing. So it's got a really cute element to it. Now, so Adam Project, I don't see as having a cute element. I think it's really good because it's got time travel. It's got like this really good plot. It's really good. I don't see it has a cute element. Now, a cute show, a good movie that I'm going to talk about in the media section is a movie I just watched called Chef. And I don't know if it officially qualifies as like an actual cute, as far as I'm concerned, movie, but it's a movie I came out of thinking, oh, that was cute. But not really good. Anyway, I'll talk about that in the media section.
Okay.
Anyway, that is my partial, maybe 3/4 answer to that.
Taebyn and Rain.
Hi.
Rain's on the line.
Hey, Rain, how you doing, Mr. Raccoon?
I am doing great.
That's great. So talking about being great and doing great, there's a product out there called Broad Electrolyte Vitamins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And it's really good. It's great if you're active, if you're going to travel, if you're going to do some, after work drinking perhaps, and you don't want to be hungover or tired the next day. Well, if you take 2 Broad tablets, they're electrolyte vitamins. If you take 2 with any beverage before engaging in your strenuous activity, before going on a flight, or before imbibing in those after work drinks, you will retain your electrolytes and you'll have a great time doing it, and you will not be hungover the next day because they are super deluxe.
Sounds like great vitamins.
It does.
They are. They're great vitamins. And our listeners can get 25% off their entire order by going to broad.co. There's no M, so that's BRODE.co. And when you place your order in the checkout, put BFFT, that's BFFT for Barely Furcasting featuring Taebyn, in your coupon code, and you'll get 25% off your entire order.
Order. Wow.
Your entire order. So the more you buy, the more you save. And you know what?
Wow.
That it doesn't expire until the end of June. So you can totally keep buying stuff every time you go in, 25% off with BFFT.
Wow. Nice. Sounds like a good deal. Thank you for that info, Lord Barely.
Well, you are quite welcome, Surf Taebyn. Or no, you're Sir Taebyn, not Surf Taebyn. All right.
Surf Taebyn sounds really cool, though.
Surf Taebyn.
No.
Everybody's gone surfing. Surfing Taebyn Pop.
Yeah, there you go. So, speaking of that, I have a few sciencey news facts.
Well, lay it on us.
And in fact, for you first, that is a true thing about Broad. It's not. It's a true thing. So
it's a true thing. It's one of our. It's our sponsor. It's our sponsor right now. Yes.
Yeah. Yay, Broad! We love you. Anyway, so I've got some sciencey things and vocabulary things and a few random things I found out. That's very cool.
Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about it. Yeah.
Yay! So
yay.
So a question I have is.
Yes.
If you're not supposed to eat at night, right? Because they say healthy-wise you're supposed to stop eating after a certain time. If you're not supposed to eat at night, then why is there a light bulb in the refrigerator? I mean, come on.
Good point. Yes. Good point.
So, and hospitality. I found out what that really means. Hospitality is making your guests feel like they're at home, even if you wish that they were. Turns out that's what hospitality means. Gotcha. And teamwork is very important too. We all know about teamwork is important to work together and everything. It turns out I found out why teamwork is really important. It's because it helps to put the blame on someone else.
Indeed it does.
And you know, my therapist says, for whatever reason, I have a preoccupation with vengeance. Well, we'll just see about that. And you know, nostalgia is just not what it used to be.
That's true. Back in my day, yeah, right. So that was a few good sciencey things I found out and information that we can all imbibe with while we have our broad. And there it is. Taebyn, I hate to interrupt that diatribe that you were just doing, but we need to get over We need to get over to Lux's place. Sponsor. She asked us to come over. Diatribe, yes. When you just keep running off at the mouth. Diatribe. There.
Oh my cow. Okay.
Oh my cow. All right, let's head on over to Lux's. It's a nice day. Let's walk.
Okay, it is. It's a really, like we were talking about, it's a nice day today. Nice day for a walk, so let's head on over.
It's very nice.
Lux's Transfurmation.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many birds out here. I can't believe how many
They go
birds
tweet, and I love when they go tweetsies tweet, though.
Does the Rockin' Robin have anything to do with it?
Tweet. Rockin' Robin. Tweet. How do I even know that?
Yeah. Shush! Don't do that. We'll get a. Don't do that. We'll get a copyright violation.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, here we are at Lux's place.
Hey, Mr. Door, how are you doing?
Strangely normal, but let's go ahead and knock.
Oh, hey, bros. Oh, it really means a lot that
Hi.
you're here. Come on in.
Oh,
I'm a little scared.
You
all
look
of a sudden.
sad.
Yeah. Well, no, this is your. I mean, this is where the memorial service for the leprechauns is happening. So means a lot that you're here.
That's right,
you're still doing the memorial
some
service?
Maniac with a
Okay.
Zamboni ran over like 20 of them last week.
Yeah, I
And,
can't
we
imagine.
got the
That's
families
horrible.
here,
That's horrible.
and it means a lot. So
All the little
in
families.
lieu of flowers, they're asking
the-
that you instead just dye whatever river you come across green.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right.
Well,
Just step careful.
the
There's
leprechauns.
mourners everywhere. Oh man, doesn't
Mourners.
feel right to see so many leprechauns so sad.
No, it
All
doesn't.
right.
That was not gold
well,
at the end of the rainbow. I'm sorry. It was
no,
all right,
no,
well,
it's
we're gonna
not.
head downstairs.
That's all right.
We're gonna head
Yeah, the
downstairs.
escalator's working
Okay,
now,
well,
so we fixed it. Oh, and here's a couple Lucky
Good.
Charms. You can keep your blood sugar
Oh,
up.
thank you.
Crying's a lot of work.
nice.
Oh,
Nice. Thank you.
oh,
Yeah,
All right,
right.
take care, guys.
Everybody's always after me, Lucky
Everyone's
Charms.
after
Yes.
your Lucky Charms.
Yes.
Oh my cow.
Salutations, guys! How's
Hey,
it
Lux,
going?
good to see you.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's-
Good.
Oh,
good.
it's going great.
It's a
I
beautiful
have
day
discovered.
outside. Have you seen it outside?
Yeah, it's a
really
gorgeous
great.
day. I mean, besides the leprechaun funeral, sun shining.
Well, yeah,
you
I mean,
know,
until
it's
that, everything was fine.
Absolutely. And I see you appreciate the robotic birds that I have outside of the
Oh,
of
is
the,
that
the
what
thing
those
now.
were?
They're all
Oh,
yeah,
those
they're
are
my
yours.
surveillance
Okay.
pigeons. Yeah, no, they all
very
keep track of
lifelike.
everything. And now, I mean, I'm rolling in dough now, guys. I've got in on that NFT game, so
And it
basically.
on the download, just I
Huh?
won't give it away, but is part of the reason you're rolling the dough, because you collected all those pots of gold from those poor leprechauns.
I mean,
Is there another thing going on?
Oh, no, fam, no. Basically, what I've done is I've made crappy crayon drawings of all the transformations that we've done of you so far, drawn them on napkins, taken pictures of it, and I've called it an NFT, and I now am theoretically a billionaire. So, come on in.
Theoretically,
Champagne
yeah.
All about
fountains
how
over to
you
the
roll
left,
it,
got
that's
some
how I call it.
caviar for you. There's a shrimp wall over there. Rain's actually DJing
shrimp
in the back while
wall.
we're getting this
Love it.
transformation going, so... I mean, I'd say hi, but he's like so in the zone right now. He's
Look
got...
at that. Oh,
he's
yeah.
raising
look
the
at him
roof,
going.
so yeah.
He got his
Yeah,
raccoon
yeah,
ears
so-
just going.
Wow, this is this party's kind of like Kendall Roy's 40th, man.
A little bit. I mean, there could be more
Or-
people here, but
Little bit, yeah.
I am trying to keep the beats down ever so slightly because I figured it would ruin like the morning vibe upstairs. But this is also where the wake's gonna happen after
But-
we're done. So,
But you know,
Down here,
it's
yeah,
actually really happening. It's just like Fairly says, it's a really hardcore party we got going on. It's almost as hardcore as the Grammys this year because Rain be slapping it. be slapping.
Yeah, that's.
Doing that.
Oh God! If anyone listens to this podcast a year from now, they're gonna have no idea what we're talking about. All right.
I have no idea. That's
anyway.
a cultural reference that does not play well over
so
time.
What's awesome is that through all my extraneous money, we're working on some theoretical technology here. The transformation ray, you can see it's covered in flashing Christmas lights. There's actually a little chamber in the back because it is powered by the groove of dance. So, Barely, I need you to get into the dance pod and just start breaking it down a little bit. And then Taebyn, go ahead and move up front. You'll see that there's an overstuffed cushion made of the finest Corinthian leather, and it's stuffed with like Egyptian mummy wrappings. It's very expensive, but feel free to destroy it. I can always
Corinthians and the Egyptian mummy. We're just
Also, the seat is inlaid with the beaks of 1,000 eagles.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Exactly. And I'm gonna. Now the only problem is I have to press the buttons and turn the gears in sequence here, and whenever Rain drops the beat, I gotta like slow down a little bit here. So I'm gonna go ahead. And, you get ready. Oh, all right. We're going slow here. All right, Barely. Go ahead and try the electric slide. That's a pretty powerful dance. Oh, there he goes. All right, we got charged now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel here, and also Taebyn, here's a $50 bill for no reason. Here you go.
Oh, I feel thank you. Thank you.
Normal money's worthless to me. All right, I've got the dials to this.
Barely make sure next time we're at Furcasting, make sure you do that electric slide thing
this
on the
around.
dance floor. That's pretty good.
And all right, Taebyn, are you ready to go, my man?
I think I'm down with it, yo.
All right, to the beat now. 3 and 2 and 1. Woo!
Hey.
Oh man, is that the smoke from the transformation ray or from the smoke machines? There's lasers everywhere. Let's figure this out. Oh my gosh!
Lasers.
I have not seen one of these in forever. Taebyn, you're a CNC. Look at that! Oh my goodness, like a Fisher Price CNC. You got a little wheel on you. Oh my goodness, and a little pull cord. And there's like a bunch of different animals on it.
I Taebyn, more than a pump this time. Wow, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, you're like 20. Taebyn, how does it feel to be a CNC?
It fit like very multiple personality-ish. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
I got the pig going. I got the pup going on, but I got the pig going on.
I was gonna say there's even some fandom species on here. Yeah.
Oh my cow.
Well, let's see what Taebyn sounds like when we pull the string and find the animals.
Like, don't pull it too fast, actually. But
all right, hold on. Hey, Rain, can you slow it down a little bit? Maybe put on some R&B, some smoother jams. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, this one's for. We'll start off real slow. All right, I'm gonna hand this over to you, Barely. Go ahead and give him a pull.
Okay.
The cow says.
Oh.
Moobark.
Well, Taebyn, that's
interesting.
Pretty good. Yeah, he does say Moobark.
Yeah, I guess the cow.
I'm gonna pull that string again.
I've got the majority of the pup is still here, but I feel in the vibes of the other animals. It's good stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna pull that string again. Here it goes.
The giraffe says.
I don't know what I say, but I'm going to say bark, 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 and that's all I can say.
Oh my goodness. Rain, I hope you're getting some good samples for your next album.
Oh yeah.
That's what the giraffes say.
That's what the giraffes say.
Right? Now, how does it feel when the thing is spinning around? It's got to feel like a physical sensation somehow, right?
Wow. I think I have a feeling I shouldn't actually describe what that feels like, because
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But Taebyn, when I pull the string, is it like I'm pulling your tail?
Again, I don't think this is something that I feel it's not something I should discuss in public.
Oh,
so
we're in polite company. I see. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe
we're in polite company, and his priest isn't anywhere to be found.
Oh goodness.
So we
yeah.
can't
we're
definitely
definitely in polite company, because that's what you're doing, Barely. You're polite. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it again. Here we go.
Polite.
The Protogen says.
Hello, I'm a Protogen, and I like to be electronic and plug into things like the dishwasher and microwave and bark.
Ding dang. You know, I was going to say, Rain's recording all of this, so that might make it into his next album.
Nice.
About how you like plugging into...
You're gonna get the electronica going on in that one, yo.
Right?
That is totally making it into the next album.
Oh, no, yeah. Whenever that drops.
Yeah.
Wow, that is nuts. So, where are the voices yours? Are they, like, something different inside of you? Because, like, it feels like it's kind of involuntary.
It is. It's really weird. It's involuntary, and then when it kind of gets done, it's like I feel the pup coming back, and so, I don't know. It's kind of transcendent in the fluff. I don't know. It's hard to transcendent.
Yeah.
The fluff.
You know, I'm wondering if this can interface with Rain's DJ equipment. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, well, transdescent is it's one of those new words. It's like translucent and transcendent, and it's mixed together. And
it's a new genre of music.
Gotcha.
It's sparklecore or something, right? As the kids will say.
10% off your next visit because it's in the dental. I don't know.
That's wild. Hey, so Rain, you know how to record scratch, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna hand this to you, and then Barely's gonna go ahead and give Taebyn a pull, and then you scratch it. And we'll see what the sound sounds like when it comes out. All right?
All right. I'm on.
All right,
I'm on the
Barely,
arrow.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
Let it rip. The cow says. Oh man, this is the music that the kids are craving. Oh my goodness. Right?
I know.
The sound of a generation.
Yeah. Where's my Grammy?
All right.
Lux,
Fantastic. Yeah.
I see one more animal on there that we haven't gotten to yet, and I kind of want to. I'm hoping that I can make it land up. You know what? I remember when I was a kid, I used to be able to pull the string and hold it on the animal I wanted.
Ooh, a little hack there.
And it would hack and it would go there. So I'm gonna put the arrow on the alligator.
Ooh, all right.
And I'm gonna pull the string.
The alligator says,
I am rolling around in the swamp and I'm going to eat that daisy before I eat that squirrel. Poor squirrel. Pop, no, it's poor squirrel. I'm going to do it. That's what
we've unlocked an audiobook on this thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole story that happened there.
We have.
That is wild. Oh, all right. I see. There's one other critter on here. It's kind of the sticker's kind of scratched off, but it kind of looks like a really, really cool pup.
Okay, well.
On here, we should probably do one more before we transform Taebyn back.
Okay, I'm gonna use my hack again. I'm gonna hold it on the pup, pull the string.
Okay. All right.
The
pup says.
Pup goes bark, kit goes meow, bird goes tweet, and the mouse's tiny feet. Cow goes moo, duck goes splash, and the giraffe goes on top. Fox goes fluff and puppy puff. The flamingo takes a bow, and there's one sound that we all know. What does the pup say? What does the pup say? Wag, 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 wag. Wag, 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 wag. Bark, wag, 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 wag. What does the pup say? Fluffy, 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 fluff. Fluffy, 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 fluff. Fluffy, 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 fluff. What does the pup say? Yip, 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 yip. Yip, 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 yip. What's the pup say? Big blue eyes, puppy nose, chasing tail clockwise, I suppose. Fluffy paws, padding around. Suddenly you make a sound. Your fur is gray, so beautiful, with purple and some teal. But if you meet a friendly kitty, will you come near the cake by Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluff, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluff, Fluffy, Fluffy? How will you speak to that? Puffy, puffy, puff, puffy, puffy, puff, puffy, puffy, puff. What does the pup say? Meow, 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 meow. What does the pup say? Kitty, 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 cow, kitty, 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 cow, kitty, kitty, You are a kitty. You are a kitty. What's the pop say? What's the pop say? The secret of the pop, sniffing at the tree, hugging all of the plants. I know you're fluffy. We all know your sound. Forever we have known. Would you like a treat? What do you say? I see your posies hiding under the couch. Would you like some pets? Dog. You are such a good boy. I want to pet. Puppy.
Wow.
Whoa! Oh my God, that's so
I tell
lit!
You, it just happened. It just happened.
Oh man,
that was crazy. Okay.
I was gonna say, oh look at that! Look at that! The live stream that Rain's running, we just made another million theoretical Lux dollars. So heck yeah!
Nice. Well,
private islands for everybody. Cool.
We call them Lux Bucks.
Lux Bucks. Absolutely. All right. Well, I can't get any richer.
Back to normal.
Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm
going
to shimmy on over here and set you down and barely go ahead and start breaking it down behind the transformation ray. And Taebyn, any final thoughts on being a CNC?
Wow. I must say, I feel like I'm a martial arts instructor, but I'm not because I'm a CNC instead.
Oh.
But no, it's true. It's true.
Let's change him back, shall we?
All right.
Taebyn,
I'm gonna go ahead.
It was great. I'm glad to be back. I will be glad to be back, but it's been great to experience my kindred fluffs in the fluff. So
yeah.
Good
and discovering your inner voice and also making me a lot of money, which is really what life is about, right? All right, let's get it going. I'm gonna spin her around and barely go ahead and do your little dance back there. All right, transforming in back 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right.
Bark. I feel that I'm a pup again.
Oh man, the leprechauns are starting to come down from the wake. We should bet. Okay, Rain, can you make the beats really sad? Can you make it pumping but sad?
Yeah.
All right, minor key. All right. Leprechauns are sadly shuffling their way to the tiny open bar.
Yours are keys.
So.
Are theirs?
What?
She said minor key. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, hers are key. Yours are not key. No, they are not key at all. Taebyn, I'm gonna put your leash on because you're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, he's all right, guys. Well, here are 2 very tiny morning glasses of Irish whiskey, little thimbles.
Yay!
So we're gonna lift it up to all the leprechauns that died last time we were here. That we have no idea how it happened. We hope that they catch those scoundrels that ran him over with that Zamboni. All right.
He's a wee drop of whiskey. Yeah. Right.
And here's also to bribing the law enforcement in charge of the investigation. Yeah, all right. Fantastic. All right. Go ahead. Now, the escalator's still going down, so you're really going to have to run up that thing in order to make it back upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I need exercise.
Make it a running start. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Roll. Okay.
Oh, dude.
We made it. We made it.
All kinds of animal noises. Are you all right?
We had to run. That's my sound now when I run, apparently. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, you can run as fast as you want. It's not going to bring Sean O'Connery back.
O'Connery.
Yeah.
Well, poor Sean O'Connery. And Patio Furniture. Was he there too?
McKellen Fitzpatrick and Patrick Fitzmckellan.
Yes.
Oh man, those little homies. We all play tiny hacky sack together.
Let's not forget Kel.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he had a few secrets.
Yeah.
All right.
He did.
Well, again, it means a lot that you guys are here. And remember, here's just if you could just dye like the pond that's out behind your studio, just the brightest green that you can. It would really mean a lot.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you can watch it on Google Earth. You'll see
All right.
in person. All right.
I'm gonna sing a really sad Irish brogue to get to you guys. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are
Come on, Taebyn, let's go. Quick.
It's time to.
From
good luck with that. There.
right.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Good. Wow.
Okay. All right.
Well, that was
Back we
very
go.
interesting and exciting. Let's head on back or whatever
Excuse me?
alligators do.
Excuse me?
Oh, what?
Is this the way to the leprechaun funeral?
Yes.
Yeah,
just
go that
right that way.
Just
Yeah.
Okay.
follow the
I mean, the
green
funeral's
stench.
over, right? It's nothing but the rave, right? Because I
Right,
didn't bring
the rave
black,
on.
but I had tiny little leprechaun glow sticks.
There you go. Go for
Nice.
it. Yeah. The rave
Fantastic.
is soon.
It's
Yes.
still
All
hot.
right.
and it's
They were all
pretty
jerks anyway. Whee!
Yes.
good. There you go.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Nice.
Taebyn,
Let's
I don't know what
go
else to
back
say.
before this gets any
Lux's
crazier.
place is always wacky. I tell you, it's just wacky over there. Why do we keep going back?
I don't
why do
know.
we
I've
keep
got a thing. I guess. I don't know.
I guess it's an issue. You should. There's a pill for that, you know.
I hear there's a
Diatribe.
pill and that's exactly the one. That's the 13th step. Take the diatribe.
Like the diatribe. Okay. All right, so Taebyn, I want to talk about, I think I want to start a new segment that will kind of explore a little bit more in season 3, because we're coming to the end of season 2. So wanted to talk a little bit about this. I want to start a segment called Your Hometown.
Your hometown.
So this is where Furs write into us and tell us about weird things that happen in your hometown. So it's audience participation.
This is your hometown.
So for example, our friend and staff member Ziggy, who lives near the South Pole, it's what I understand.
Chile?
Somewhere. Chile, yes. It's not chilly there apparently, because apparently they don't have snow there anymore. But he was starting to put things in the BFFT chat about things that were going on in his hometown. And one of them was all the houses had pointy spires on the tops.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the middle of the roof line for no apparent reason.
He sent us a video. We saw it.
He did. He sent us a video. And basically what it's for is you throw a rope over it when it snows, and then I guess you run the rope back and forth to the front and the back of the house, and it clears the snow off the roof. Ingenious.
Yeah, very ingenious.
Very ingenious.
But he said they don't have snow anymore, like for 7 or 8 years or something, so they're just there for decoration.
They're just there for decoration now. He said, yeah, they put them on new houses too. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, apparently maybe it'll
keep the
snow there
decoration
someday.
going.
I know. It would be terrible on my house because my house is 2 stories. So I'd have to have a long rope and be very talented to throw a rope up and over my house.
And that's at least like 2 hours long to have 2 stories. I mean,
that's right. Yes. And then he also sent us a picture of somebody that tied a goat to a park bench at the children's park.
He did.
Or a
It's
sheep,
like
not a
this-
goat. Sorry. It was a sheep.
Yeah. This also happens in my town. People tie their sheeps to things.
Their pet sheep to the park bench. It's like, take your sheep for a walk. Why not? And then he also pointed out something on the sidewalks. There's like these little metal bars outside of each door. And they're like, and he says those are for before they had sidewalks, which were cement or wood, I guess, that you would scrape the mud off your shoe before going into the house, which is
and they're still there.
Even on the new sidewalks, they're still there. So it's got to be a tradition at this point.
This must be a fun old traditional town he lives in or something.
Must be. So Furs out there listening, your hometown.
This is your hometown.
If you have some strange things that are going on in your hometown, send us pictures, send us videos on the BFFT chat, and we shall talk about them. And if they're really cute and funny, I'll even put them on the YouTube channel for us.
And the way that you say it like that, if you've got something strange going on in your hometown, I'm afraid like we're going to get videos and stuff of like poltergeists and like the Blair Witch Project type stuff.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's okay. I can do that.
can do that.
It's fun and exciting because send us what's going on in your hometown. My hometown. My hometown. So, not much.
What just happened? It was a poltergeist. Did you hear that? A
poltergeist.
There was a
polterghost. You know, chickens, dead chickens are poltergeists. We've already had that joke once before.
We've already had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we had a whole thing about a movie centered around that. So
we did, yes. Ghost Chickens in the Sky. I remember that song. We played that a couple of times. Yeah.
The ghost chicken in the sky keeps on clucking.
there
Journey
you go.
Throwback.
Journey throwback. So I don't have anything. I couldn't find anything in the mailbag. Was there anything in your mailbag, Taebyn?
No, there was not.
Well, nobody loves us, so let's just move along to media.
Let's just move along to where someone might love us. Media!
I watched a few things this week. I watched a few more episodes of Yellowstone, which is we talked about that before. Kevin Costner is their series. So I need to ask you, do you need a ride to the train station? Don't say yes.
Okay. No, okay. I do not need a ride. Thank you for asking, but no, I do not.
And any further that gets that reference, write in and let us know because, it's interesting.
I'm really excited to find out now.
Really? Yeah.
But I'm not going to get a ride to it. But
you don't want to get a ride to the train station. No. I also watched the last season of Disenchanted, which is a Matt Groening cartoon on Netflix. And Matt Groening, of course, is from The Simpsons fame. He created The Simpsons. And we talked a couple weeks ago about the show on Netflix called Is It Cake?
Yes.
And because we had both seen we had just seen the coming attractions for it, or the meme or something. I decided to watch the first episode.
Oh, yeah? How is it?
What a bloody moronic show, I have to tell you.
Okay.
And I like cooking shows, but wow. So what they do, the premise is they have an item, say a stack of
pancakes.
Red Solo cups. Or pancake. Red Solo cups, right? And the bakers have to make a cake that looks like this stack of Red Solo cups.
Like the meme for all you furs that know. I know all you furs know this meme from like 6 months ago.
It's very furry centric. But so then they put them out there, and the judges, who are not bakers, they're just like celebrity judges from somewhere, have to decide.
Like Lisa Kudrow?
Yeah, like Lisa Kudrow or Elon Musk or things like that. You know,
or Michael Jackson,
and minor celebrities.
Or I know. How about what's his name? Milli Vanilli. No.
Milli Vanilli?
Milli Vanilli. No, there's another one. Something Canelli.
I don't know. The cannolis of the Jordans. Anyway,
and the pasta.
So they have these things like sitting 15 feet away from them, and they're they're not big. So they have to decide whether it's a real thing or whether it's cake.
From 15 feet away.
From like 15 feet away, and it's like they're looking at it going, well, that one's kind of shiny, and that one kind of looks like it might be the cake. I don't know. And they have to decide on the cake.
This and then sounds moronic.
It's very moronic. They lock in their answer, so all three of them have to agree. They lock in their answer, but then the host asks each one of them which one they thought was the cake. And it's like, well, why did you lock in your answer
if you're going
to ask all three of them?
Anyway.
Like, I was just, what? No. I was like, okay. So
they needed to fill in time. I mean, filling 30 minutes is so long. Is it a 30-minute show?
It's a 30-minute show, but here's the thing. So the bakers have 8 hours to create their cake.
Oh, poor bakers.
Right. So, and they only there's like a cadre of like 10 bakers, and 3 of them get to bake, and the other 7 have to sit and watch for 8 freaking hours.
That sounds like not a lot of fun.
It sounds like punishment. It sounds like something that, when I was in Catholic grade school, you go watch the lunch ladies bake cake for 8 hours.
And it's so much punishment. It's like listening to our podcast for 8 hours.
Our podcast is lots of punishment.
Punishment.
Yes. And that's what I've been watching. I'm sorry I got off on a rant about Is It Cake, but I will not be watching any more episodes of Is It Cake.
Good to know. So would you recommend it or not?
No, I would say if it's in your Netflix news feed, it's in your Netflix feed,
just
make it go away. Say not interested. That's what Netflix really should have, is a not interested button.
They should. I've had, there's been things like Is it Pandora? I don't know. There are things that have not interested buttons.
Yeah, Netflix, if you're listening, we want a not interested button on our streaming service. Thank you very much.
And now that we've plugged you, give us money.
Give us shameless asking for money. Taebyn, you're getting really good at that.
I'm trying.
Shamelessly asking for money. Not that it's ever produced anything, but
that's why I'm not worried about doing it. It's like I know it's not going to go anywhere.
But what have you been watching?
Well, several things actually. So we watched Young Sheldon. Finished season 5. I mean, we finished the last episode that is currently on air. Apparently, there's more. I think there's more. We finished season 100 or season 100, episode 100.
Season 100. It's old Sheldon.
It's old Sheldon. It's like, I know more than you because I am old and Sheldon. I don't know.
He's totally taken over for Stephen Hawking at that point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if he hasn't, he has because it's Sheldon and he thinks he has. Anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
So anyway, it's season 5 and we watched the 100th episode. And at the moment, that's the last one on air. I think there's like going to be more episodes coming out. One thing I've wanted to mention for like several weeks now, ever since we started season 5, and I keep forgetting. And I actually remembered to make a note about this.
Okay.
Have you noticed a
Yes.
difference in the season 5 intro as opposed to the other season intros?
No. Not really.
So, in season 1 through 4, I'm pretty sure it's 1 through 4. I didn't notice the last season. Maybe I thought, but season 1 through 4 in the intro, you know, there's the cow that like walks in and then they walk away from it and like there's a cow. In season 5, and it's a normal dairy cow. It's got the black and white spots. In season 5, instead of a cow, it's a black bull.
Huh.
And they still do the walk away thing and stuff, but I noticed it changed. And I've wanted to talk about that for several weeks now.
I'll have to pay attention. I'll have to go back to season 4 and watch an opening, and then season 5 and watch an opening.
And make sure, And if maybe they started the bull in season 4. I know at some point they changed, but I think it was season 5 where they changed. This is good info, I guess.
See, I thought it was always a bull. Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe I'm actually hallucinating. I thought it was a cow, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just wanted it to be a cow.
Maybe I thought it was. I think it was. Well, we'll find out next week. Let's tune in next week for
the exciting
first of all our season finale, and we'll talk about whether or not it's a cow or a bull.
The big amazing thing. We'll have other things going on, but the big amazing thing for our season finales. We will talk about the bull versus cow on the intro
bull versus cow.
To Young Sheldon.
Woohoo!
Come on, join us, all you friends.
That is podcast history right there. There is nobody else talking about that. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's not. Oh, woof. Anyway, so since we watched the last aired episode of that, we had to start watching something else. So we started watching the show Good News. It's a Netflix show. Have you seen this show?
I have not. I haven't even heard of it.
I hadn't either. Honey was going down a list of trying to find like where we're going to watch. And he got a nice list of things, and so we're just tried something. There's only 2 seasons out, and I think there's only 2 seasons. But anyway, I don't recognize any actors' names or anything. It's pretty good. It's about some girl. She works for a news. She's like not an anchor man, but she like works anchor woman. Sorry, anchor woman.
Anchor, just anchor. The term
anchor,
is news anchor.
She's a news anchor. She really holds down the building, I guess. That's what I just said. And anyone doesn't know what I mean by when I said that's what I just said, they'll have no. Barely was just pointing to a shirt that has an anchor on it, and so I said that's what I just said. So that's why I just said that. Anyway, so it's
what are you talking about, Taebyn?
I have no idea. And thanks for asking. And then we'll see if that last 5 minutes is actually edited out of this episode. But so she works at a news. I forget the name of the news company, but she works for a news thing. And her mom, who is she's a total smother, like Beverly Goldberg, and the Goldbergs, total smother. But she ends up working as an intern for the same news company, and hilarity ensues. Do you remember about that? Hilarity ensues. I talked about that.
Hilarity ensues. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It says in the description, not hilarity ensues, but something along the lines of that, like, and there is hilarity.
But so clinical, and there will be hilarity.
There will be hilarity.
There will be hilarity, and you will enjoy it, and you will laugh.
And there will be hilariousness. And so we've seen only 2 episodes. It's pretty good, though. We'll keep watching. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
It's called Good News?
Good News.
Good News.
Like good NEWS. It's Netflix. It's pretty good. We'll see how it goes. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible. It's like one of those... I mean, it's only 2nd episode, so it's hard to tell, but it's at the moment. But we'll keep watching. It's pretty good. We made us laugh. It's good. We'll see. Then we watched. I talked about this before when you asked about good versus cute movie. We watched a movie called Chef, and
Chef.
I don't. It's I don't remember entirely what it's about. It was
I'm
a
guessing
movie.
It's about a chef.
It's about a chef that does stuff. Okay, yeah, I remember. He's a chef in a big fancy restaurant, and he goes on for various reasons. You'll have to watch the movie to find out, but goes on to have his own food truck, actually.
Oh, okay.
And that's actually the whole premise. It's actually not a bad movie. It was pretty good. It's like an hour and a half long. I thought it was good. We both thought it was good. It's what I came away with it thinking, oh, that's a cute movie. But it was good. And do you know Gloria from Modern Family?
Yes.
She's in it. She doesn't have a huge role, but she's in it. So there's a plug for her, I guess. Anyway, so we watched that. It was good. You might like it, actually, Barely, because you like watching cooking shows and stuff. And I don't know. I think you actually might like it or not. I think you will enjoy watching it. Where enjoy doesn't equal good or bad. And so there's that.
Just means enjoy. You will enjoy this.
You enjoy.
Enjoy. And manja.
We watched another movie called Happy Endings. So, of course, I've talked about the Netflix show Happy Endings in the past, the TV series that started out amazing and then went downhill. Like by season 3 was so bad. Anyway, we talked about that. It is not related at all to that. It's a totally separate thing. It's a different movie.
Okay.
And so this movie has Lisa. It has actually a lot of well-known actors in it. For example, it has Lisa Kudrow and Nina Myers from 24. Do you remember 24? Jack Bauer,
never watched it. Everybody, every fur out there. When I said that, Taebyn literally sat still in his chair and is shaking his head at me as if he's probably not going to be my friend anymore. Well, we made it 2 seasons, listeners.
Me and Barely have cut it off. The ties are
We're
gone.
Done. That's it. I didn't watch 24, so now it's like,
You remember several weeks ago when you said you'd never seen Prison Break? And I was like,
yeah.
What? But at the moment, I don't care that you haven't seen Prison Break. I don't care. I literally do not care anymore.
Okay.
What I care about is that you have not seen
24.
Have you even heard of 24?
I have. It just never appealed to me. He's speechless, Furs. He's speechless. Long, awkward silence.
Oop. This is the I think that's the first time I've been speechless for more than a second. So
wow. Okay. Well.
Whew.
Anyway, getting on with your story.
Okay.
Let's not focus on my lack of 24-ness.
I'm not focusing on how miserable your life must actually be. So there's this chick in 24 by the name of Nina Myers.
Okay.
And any fur out there that knows 24 knows about Nina Myers and knows all about that. And also write in and tell us about how horrible you think of Barely right now and how much he must get divorced because Alex will never speak to him again. Anyway, Nina Myers is in 24 and she's also on this show called Happy Endings. And so there's like a bunch of well-known actors. Oh, Leonard from Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
And his name was what? Johnny something Ski.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in it. And he has like 6 lines, and he shows up for a role that only lasts for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Right. Okay, that's fine. But so they have lots of actually well-known people. And they've got a lot of well-known actors for a crappy movie.
Okay.
And I wouldn't necessarily put this into the category of, the whole, there's a 1.5 hours I'll never get back of my life type thing.
Right.
It was actually okay and interesting, but they had at least 3 different plots. Okay, so there are really great movies that have in the beginning, there's all these different plots, and in the end, they come together, and it's amazing. This is not one of those.
This is not one of those amazing movies.
There are literally at least 3 plots in the beginning where they cut between, and in the end, I think they meant them to come together, but they have failed miserably. And it's
okay.
But there are lots of gay people. There's a lesbian relationship. There's a gay relationship. It's got some good things, but so I'll just stop by saying that's my media for the week.
Okay, well.
It's a journey.
Well,
my media this week has apparently been a journey.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey indeed. Okay, well, you know what? I think we should get to furries in the news.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's time for that now?
I think it's time for that now, yeah.
What time? Remind us.
It's time for furries in the news.
Furries are... Therein, did you know that? Do you know who John Baptiste is?
No.
Barely.
No.
John Baptiste is the keyboardist, instrumental guy for Stephen Colbert.
Oh, okay.
He's an amazing person. And did you know that in the news?
Yes.
That on the Grammys recently, he won not 1, not 2, not 3. Wow, Taebyn, will you stop? Oh my count. Not 3, but 4. He won, count them, 5 Grammys. Jean Baptiste, every fur, 5 Grammys.
5 Grammys.
One of which was for Best Album of the... And that had nothing to do with furries, but that concludes my furries horrible thing I'm doing right now in the... Shut up now, please, Taebyn. Okay, Bart.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of speechless,
I dozed off. Sorry, I dozed off. It was getting so long. I took a nap. Sorry,
but at least now you have some information. Or you might have slept through it. I don't know.
I slept through it. I don't know. I don't know. I heard something about my Grammy while I was sleeping, and I thought, "Oh, she's making me chocolate chip cookies again."
Making chocolate chip. You now have chocolate chip cookies. It's amazing.
Yes, I do. Okay, so in the news, before I get to our main story that we talk about, I want to talk about these idiots that keep talking about the furries in the schools. Every stinking week, this comes up.
Thing? The litter boxes? That came up again?
It came up again. It came up in Wisconsin. It came up in Wisconsin this week.
In Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
What happened this time?
Well, again, it came up that, there's the furries and this allegedly this grandma wrote into the school board and talked about the whole thing about them meowing and barking and following the teachers around on all fours. And with each iteration, more stuff gets added, which
gets
just
more
drives
and more
me
not
crazy.
Oh.
And so this was happening in Wisconsin, and they posted a picture in the Green Bay area paper, which is called Green Bay Area or something like that. And they posted a picture of a bunch of furries in a room.
Yeah.
And said, "This is the school," which it's not, because clearly that was a hotel lobby for the recent furry conference that took place in Wisconsin.
Oh my cow.
You can see the luggage carts in the background, the gold arch things with the stuff. You can see that. It's clearly
Make sure to
not
drop
in the
that
school.
into the YouTube. Oh my cow.
It is clearly not in the school, but it's like, oh my God, will this not die? This just won't die. And every time somebody talks about
it's just like Trump, I mean,
it's followed up with.
No, I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's not like Trump. Nothing is like Trump, and nothing will ever be like Trump. But he needs to go away forever and ever. Not that I'm advocating anything, but he needs to go away.
That happened like 2 months ago or something, and it's like, move on. It was debunked and everything. Oh my cow. Okay.
And every time the article comes up, they have the debunking right at the bottom of the article. It's like, why did you even publish it if you know it? Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Anyway.
Hi.
So apparently there's a rock band called Car Seat Headrest. Have you heard of this rock band?
I had not before until about 4 days ago.
And have you listened to any of their music?
Like 5 seconds of probably not their most popular song. So I'm going to have to try again. But
from the TikTok video? Yeah. So apparently the lead singer is named Will Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
And he confirmed at his latest concert on March 31st that he's a furry. He came out on stage in his fursuit.
And he's gay too, believe it or not.
Is he gay? I didn't know that.
He is gay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for him. A gay furry. What a concept.
I know.
Who knew? There's no gay furries.
Go, next con we go to, we should ask the fur in the hotel, are you gay?
Are you gay? Like,
we probably won't get any correct answers.
No, we'll get a stare look at us like, duh.
Do you know where you are?
Okay, so I didn't know he was gay, so thank you for that. And you know what? I'm going to let you tell the rest of this story because I'm still thinking about Wisconsin.
Okay. So for any fur that hadn't seen that yet, Car Seat Headrest is a band, and they're apparently pretty popular. I'm going to actually have to check them out a little bit more. A little while ago, I forget, like 6 months to a year ago, it was posted on Reddit or something. The lead singer, Will Toledo, he had said something about, he made references to him being a furry, but it wasn't clear or anything. It's like, whatever, no one cares or anything. But at this recent concert that Barely just mentioned on March 31st in, where was it, Brooklyn, I think?
Brooklyn, yeah. Brooklyn.
They had a concert where Will Toledo came out in his fursuit for not the whole time, just a few songs or something. And this was a new fursuit that he just got. It's a bunny. Mm-hmm. It's Mortis the Bunny from Jill Costumes. And I know a lot of you furs know Jill Costumes. I believe, what's his name? Kitty. What's the kitty?
What's the kitty?
Oh,
what
the
kitty?
one with the presidential hose reel.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name. But go along.
Yeah, he's Tim. Anyway, Jill Costumes did his suit, and you can go on Will. Well, actually, it's Car Seat Headrest. Their Twitter, you can go on, and Will posted a picture of him and with Mortis the Bunny and everything. Very, very cute. Very, very cute. Anyway, so he came out on, literally in several ways now, on stage and with his fursuit. And and you can go and see like TikTok videos and go to his Twitter, and you can see videos of this and other fans posting videos, and they're like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Oh my. But there are some fursuiters also in the audience. One fursuiter was crowd surfing, and I believe I've identified him as Squirrel. So
really?
So shout out to Squirrel. Shadow Squirrel or Squirrel. Very great, very great. There's another fursuiter in the audience. I don't know exactly who it was. So if you fursuiter happen to be listening to this pupisode and have more info or need to correct us on who the crowd surfer, whoever was, please let us know and we'll correct that and get it right. Anyway, very, very cool furries in the news on the music furry scene.
I watched the TikTok video, and it looked like the fursuiter that crowd surfed. When they got to the front of the stage, it looks like security came and took them away. But I don't know that the TikTok closed off after that. I couldn't see, but that's what it looked like to me. It was like, did security come and take them away, or maybe it was his handler? I don't know, or their handler. Hard to say. Hard to say.
So something else, if you're listening to this, Mr. Crowd Surfer Furry, let us know what actually happened. Come on the show, tell us all about it. And
tell us all about it. Yeah.
Even more, Will Toledo, come on the show and talk to us for like an hour. Wouldn't that be great?
Sure. Wouldn't it be great? Yeah. See if we can get Will Toledo. Rain, Rain, get
I
on
was just going to say rain,
like, rain
that in.
Get on that. Yeah. Okay. So there's a character on some independently developed horror game called Poppy Playtime. And the character's name is Poppy Playtime. And the character's name is Huggy Wuggy.
Oh, cute.
It triggered a police warning to horrified parents over this.
Oh, really?
Because it's an anthropomorphic antagonist in the independently developed horror game Poppy Playtime. It was released last year. The game is reminiscent of. We've talked about Five Nights at Freddy's before. We've had a couple of guests that have talked about that, and there's another couple of other shows that are along that line. But Huggy Wuggy is. It's because of the name, the filtration system on like YouTube and some other places are not kicking it back for violence to protect children. So wow. It's kind of interesting that's how it produced the police warnings. Like, hey, this is not for children. Don't watch this with your children. Yes. Crazy. So, So there's that, and that is all the furries in the news. Before we get to upcoming events, do you have any furries in the news?
My furries in the news was the Will Toledo thing. So we got it. We are on the same fluff.
Woohoo! Same fluff. All right. Upcoming events this weekend, of course, is the Fantastic in Saint-Prix, France, in Golden Tulip, Lyon, Fur Expo. That is this weekend, the 15th through the 18th. Furry Weekend Holland is coming up April 29th through May 2nd in the Netherlands. And then, of course, fast on the heels of that is Furry Weekend Atlanta in the Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. Sometimes things get a little fluffy.
Corinthians, your rhythmics.
First letter to the Corinthians, A.
They were Canadian because they're A.
So good friend of the pod and super sexy Connor from Canada is actually going to Furry Weekend Atlanta, and he's going to come on the show to give us a recap. So on the 21st of May, listen in and you'll hear the recap of Furry Weekend Atlanta from our good friend and super sexy Connor.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Let's just leave that out. Okay.
So I have to ask you now, Taebyn, you promised some people and some furs and some listeners some math this week. You had a specific thing you were going to do.
I do have some math, and that specifically I was going to do, and I will. The foundations of mathematics.
The foundations of mathematics, because you can't build a house without a good foundation.
That is so exactly right. That is why
or without
we need a
math.
Foundation.
You can't build a house without math. Yeah.
Exactly. So, foundations of mathematics. Math had us, there's a philosophical question about, okay, math, did it always exist before we got, theories about it and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And we can talk, that's a totally separate conversation. We're not going to do that now. What we're going to do now is talk about the actual foundations of math. So, for example, set theory. Have you heard of set theory? Barry?
Yes, you have talked about set theory before.
That's true. I have talked set theory. So set theory is what we think of a typical foundation of math that we talk about and think about. So in the beginning, there was, when whoever came up with a theory of math, actually Bertrand Russell, which I'll talk about actually in a little bit again, had ideas for foundation of mathematics, and he called it set theory. So in a theory of math, in this case, we'll talk about set theory, you have to have axioms. You have to have a starting place. We'll have what I'm going to call primitive notions. That is just where do you start from? So a primitive notion, an axiom of set theory is there is a set. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? So let's start there.
Okay.
And then you have to say, well, what is a set? And, well, it turns out that a set is determined by its elements. Now, that sounds ridiculous, but it's because that is ingrained in us. It's like that's what we know forever, because that's what the foundation of math is. It's a set is But at some point, they had to say, what is a set? Well, they characterized it by saying it's determined by its elements. I'll actually talk in a little bit about a contrast to that idea. Okay. So now, you have sets, and there's actually several layers, just like onions, it has layers. But in this case, there's only 2 layers. So you have the layers of sets. That's like the first layer. So that's like the elements of a set, what you're working with. The second layer is logic. So logic is applying things to stuff. What I mean by that is like in the beginning, you take some axioms and you combine them. Maybe you apply them to some elements of a set and you get a theorem. And then do
you sharpen them?
More logic. Huh?
Do you sharpen your axioms? Again, it's crickets. Sorry.
I don't even. So any further that understands what just happened, I'm right in about it. Then you've got some other theorems and other sets, and you apply logic to those, and you get more theorems. And so this is how math is, how we get it and stuff. And okay, great. Now, at one point, you have to have numbers. So at one point in the beginning, we defined the natural numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. They had to come from somewhere. And again, there's philosophical discussion about, did they actually exist before we defined them? Blah, blah. That's a totally different discussion. We won't go into that.
That, like you said, that's philosophical.
It is. It's very philosophical. It's like, let's not fill with that.
I feel you.
So you've got the natural numbers. From there, you define addition, arithmetic, and we get the entire big theory of math, or practice, whatever you want to call it, discipline of math that we know now. It's pretty amazing to think that it all started with the axiom of there is a set. Anyway, so that's set theory, and it's the foundation of mathematics. Now, we have other foundations of math. We have other set theories in effect. So the set theory we're used to is something called ZFC. That stands for Zermelo-Fraenkel-Cantor set theory. The 3 different people, they all, okay. Anyway, so ZFC set theory is the thing that we know and love pretty much. There are other set theories, all based on the notion that there is a set. The difference is that the axioms change. So in set theory, we have these things called I won't say that one because I'm not forgetting the name, but like the axiom of choice we have, and the excluded middle axiom, and things like that. Okay. And there's even a set theory that says there is no infinite set. Okay, well, you don't get very far. In fact, you cannot do calculus if you do not have an infinite set. So it's a set theory. It just doesn't get you very far. Okay, so we have different theories. Now, those are set theories. We also have other types of theories, such as things called constructive theories, which are foundations of mathematics. So, for example, the big difference between a constructive theory and a set theory is that constructive theory is constructive. It's like things have to be constructed. So, for example, in set theory, if you want to show that something exists, which is very important, like if you're doing mathematical modeling and you're trying to model something, you've got to know that it would be great to know that it even exists, the thing that you're trying to model. So there's all these theorems and stuff that say, oh, sure, it exists or it doesn't exist. And there are 2 different main ways to show that something exists. You either construct it, like you find it, you hold on to it, there it is, or you put some theorems together and say, oh, by this abstract theorem, it exists. You don't know where to find it. It doesn't tell you how to construct it, but you know it's there somewhere. Okay, great. Now, in a constructive theory of mathematics, everything is constructible. You show something exists by constructing it. So that's very useful in that you can find it. If it's going to be there, you can find it. Now, so other than set theory, there's a particular type of constructive theory called a type theory. Now, a type is different than a set. So this is a constructive theory. Everything is constructed. So you might remember I mentioned a few episodes ago, in fact, season 2, episode 42, that anyone wants to hear me talk about. I briefly mentioned a homotopy type theory, and this is a type of type theory, and I'll talk about that again in a moment. But in general, you have this thing called a type theory. Now, are we still holding on?
We are holding on. We are waiting.
We're okay.
For the riveting conclusion.
Set theory basically came about from Bertrand Russell back in 1901, so a long time ago. In the 1910s, so there's this thing I've talked about actually, just not in these words. There's this paradox of the set of all sets, and looking about members of that set and everything. And as a consequence, you get these things called like the Barber paradox I may have talked about, or the paradox about autological and homological or heterological words and things like that. Anyway, you get these paradoxes I've talked about before. But Bertrand Russell was not happy that there were these unresolved paradoxes. So in the early 1910s, he came up with this type theory, which is a foundation of mathematics that actually avoids these paradoxes that he wasn't unhappy with. So, okay, that was history. Now, so what is a type then? It's not a set. So a type is not defined by their elements like a set is. You can have elements of a type. They're called terms to like just distinguish it from the words of set theory. So you have terms. They are things that are of a type. Now, you can only have one term for, like a term cannot have more than one type. What am I talking about? Okay, so an analogy is, do you know anything about computer science or like programming languages?
I know a little bit about some things, yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of stuff, but I know some things, yeah.
So some basic things in programming languages, when you declare a variable, you don't like just say, here's a variable X, and then halfway down the program, you say, oh, it's an integer. In the beginning, you say what data type it is. You have to. You can't not. The computer has to allocate memory for it and all that stuff. So if you declare a variable, it has to be of a certain type, an integer or a string, which is just a sequence of letters, or a float, or it's got to have a type. And it's only of one type. You don't have a variable that's of two different types. That's how it is. So it's just like that in type theory. That term that is an element of a type is only of one type only. And the types determine, it's very constructive. Being a term of a type determines how it's been constructed, which is very different than set theory. It's kind of hard to actually think about. What's also hard to think about, actually, is not only are these terms of a type it's constructed via what their type is. What about logic? Like in set theory, you have the second layer of logic. You don't have a second layer of logic in type theory. The logic is within the type. So if you have a term of a type, one, you know how it's been constructed, and the logic is like ingrained in with how that element has been formed. It's really, really weird. So one way to think about that is logic can be thought of, how can I use this thing and what can I do with it? So in type theory, if you're a term of a particular type, the term ingrained in how the type has been constructed, ingrained in that, it tells you how you can use it and what you can do with it. So it's a very kind of, I don't know if the word is intrinsic. The word is really constructive, but it's a very self-contained type of theory. And so this is a very different way of looking at things, and it's actually taken me quite a long time to wrap my little puppy brain about it. And so then, of course, okay, you wonder, so you're trying to make this a foundation of mathematics. Can you do all the math we know with it? And like, sure, you can define natural numbers, arithmetic, and so on. By its constructive nature, a lot of the definitions and proofs are very constructive and, in fact, inductive or recursive. I've talked recently in a math section. In fact, on season 2, episode 49, in a math section, I talked about induction. So for any further wants to hear about that again, you can hear that. Anyway, the constructions and every definitions in type theory are very inductive. And so as far as really being useful, because how terms have only one type, and because of how a type is constructive in its nature, this is very attuned to be used in computer programming. So computer proof assistants use type theory and types to check human-made proofs. So we have these proofs we make as humans. I think I talked about the 4-color graph problem in a recent episode, and someone came up with a proof of that. using type theory, you can use, and there's all these programming languages out there called Haskell and Agda and Lean and stuff. Okay, there's these programming languages that use type theory. They can prove, you turn these proofs into types, and then the computer can check to see if that proof is actually true or not, which is very efficient and saves lots of time, because now you don't have to necessarily go through 2 years of scrutiny in the mathematical community to see if something is true or not. You plug it into a computer. And so this is very cool, very cool. Really quick, talking about that type of type theory, homotopotype theory. If people are really interested in this idea of things and more interested in like a topological / geometrical way of looking at these things, homotopotype theory is a really new branch of type theory that was introduced in 2006, so very recent. Lots of current research being done. There's a viewpoint that a type is not viewed as, say, a data type, say in a programming language. It's viewed as a space, whereas space is a more geometrical, actually topological, but more a geometrical type of thing. It's a really fun way to look at things. And you also care how things are equal. You don't care just that things are equal, but it really matters exactly how they're equal. This is all very geometric, well, really topological, and a very interesting viewpoint. And it just goes to show that a foundation of math, well, it can shape our world in different viewpoints, give different ways to look at our world, and it's a very great thing to understand and think about. And that's my math for the week.
Wow, that was a lot of math. That made my brain hurt a little bit.
A lot more math than I meant to say. I'm sorry.
That made my brain hurt just a little bit. There was some.
Yeah, I was afraid.
You were talking. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and smile. Yay.
Go back to the set thing. I understood that, but it's very interesting and very cool. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about set is when I tell you to set, stay.
I know, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's determined by if I do or don't.
That's right. That's very, very true. Oh my cow, Taebyn! I can only say by the clock on the wall that it is time for us to bring this episode to an end.
I hear the music.
I know. You bring the music. Yeah, it's we have really taken a lot of time up from our folks that are listening. So we have to say that I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Where am I going? I don't know. I'm all wandered up here. So I want to thank all of our listeners in the Podiverse. Remember to help support the show through Patreon, Ko-Fi, or by visiting our merch and buying our merch. Just don't visit it, just buy it.
Like, hey, hi, merch, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, merch? You're
actually
looking
go
good.
Up and buy the merch.
Yeah, merch. You're looking good. You're looking good, merch. So go check out our merch. Remember to go to broad.co for 25% off your entire order of super awesome electrolyte vitamins that will help you survive those super active cons or drinks afterwards or whatever you want to do, and don't remove, but use the code BFFT at checkout for 25% off your entire order. And with that, I'm going to say, Moobarkfluff, stay furry. Taebyn, take us home.
I'll try and make this very short and just say, because thank you all first for listening. If you made it this long, you've been a journey. I've talked a lot more than usual, but I always do, because that's the way I do. If you know me, I'm a pup. I talk a lot. I'm a bark. I am a bark. So, thank you all if you're listening. We appreciate it so much. We hope we hope you've learned. We hope you've enjoyed it, laughed, and stuff. And it's been great. And it's a good time that we've had here with you. We can't wait to bark at you next time. Until then, Moobarkfluff and bark, bark.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms, or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by me, Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by myself and our associate editor Rain Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by our music associate Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on soundcloud.com, and the YouTube free use library. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.